Hi y'all, welcome to my video. Today, this will be about my career A and B thing by Carl Castillo. That's me. You're listening to me. I'm most likely sitting over there in the corner in the classroom. I almost swore. Uh, Today, I was planning to just like talk to this like right now, but I've decided to make a video to make things much easier for me. I'll answer any questions in case. If you have any questions, raise your hand. I will pause the video and answer your question if possible. So let's get started with A, my first career. A is a flight attendant. All right, get to the descriptions. It's to help passengers by providing the best service, kind of like a butler in the air. Why was it? I'm gonna be completely honest. It was my first choice on my blueprint when I was doing that future career path thing, and I do actually have a lot of interest in flying, not just some interest. You know what? Let's change it right now. A lot of interest. Uh, because flying just means traveling, and you're just moving from point A to point B. It's like a long road trip, but in the air. And I really enjoyed the whole process of like, the security. Um, just being in the air in general is amazing and helping people along the way. I mean, I help people anyway in real life, so why should I not be paid to do it? So I'm gonna be paid to become a helper in the air. So let's move on to working conditions. Working conditions, you have to live with this as you're a flight attendant. You have to know your safety slash emergency knowledge, your basic and physical health. You got it's kind of like a 12 plus hour kind of thing because you are going to be away from home over there. You see, away from home, yeah, you're going to be like around the world or around, sorry, the country, traveling and taking care of passengers. Now, let's get to some interesting things about money. Money, minimum wage for the job itself is $38.97, with an average salary of 35,959. Um, you actually get tips on your flights, and most people get an average of $7 in tips. Tips are an hourly wage though only, so if you're working hourly, you'll get tips, but if you're on salary, you will not get tips. You will get overtime if you are doing hourly wages. I would say salary is a more stable pay if you're like an old dude, in your mid 30s, um, trying to take care of a family, and you know you're gonna get that stable cash. Otherwise, if you're like 20, young, you don't care how much you're not taking care of anything other than maybe pets. I'd say hourly is an okay way of living. It really depends on the airlines though, because the airlines, they're basically like your super managers. They'll pay you for everything. They're your super bosses. You do get perks. You get percents off, kind of like a 50% off flight or whatever, depending on the flight. Sometimes you just get free flights because the flight is like really empty, or it's just like you just need to be at a certain airport for another flight. So the company will pay you back, will pay for your flight to that place to get you to your flight. Kind of weird, eh? For the education and requirements, this is a two-parter. Part one, you need the high school diploma minimum. You need to be in favored. How it works to get hired actually is an interview, kind of like an audition, and where they put a group of people, they line them up, and they say, "Oh, you go, you go, you go," and they choose from the list. Favorably, they choose people with the best communication skills slash history. So if you worked in like as a waitress at the Cactus Club Cafe, I guess, you could be paid more, or you could be favored more to be paid more, and chosen to be a flight attendant there. It is recommended that a college slash university level of psychology slash communication is liked. Uh, this will be covered later, but emergency preparedness is very important for flights because you need to know what happens if something goes wrong. And in case that also covers first aid and CPR knowledge in case, anyone feeling kind of weird for a flight, so you need to know how to administer what kind of things to do and such as that. Part two, uh, They will actually like you way more if you have two or more languages. So I'd say like Cantonese, Mandarin with English. English counts as one language, so you already have one language. You just need another. Um, Language to wherever you're flying to. It would be likely like if you say want to work for Cathay Pacific and only go to Hong Kong, you got to know that language for those regions. From Canada to Hong Kong. You're gonna need 1 to 2 years of service occupation. That also covers customer slash service and restaurants. I already covered that. 3 to 6 weeks in flight attendant school. So after you get chosen by your by the company, you will be sent to a 3 to 6 week training camp, I guess, to receive your FAA certificate, which is basically just proving that you are a flight attendant. Tools and stuff used. Um, yeah, during the job, you're just going to be using the plane, whatever the plane has in store, um, which is like, your heating, your cooling drinks, whatnot. The airport, it's a very important, the airport is a very important place. It's basically like your meeting room to meet with your coworkers and the pilots. You're going to need your mind, your brain to keep yourself sane during these flights. A free uniform will be provided if you do get hired. You'll be provided with food safety material. Oh, whoops, food safety material, which is basically means temperature gauges, papers to write down how hot, how cold things are, making sure everything's food safe. Um, Safety demonstration equipment. You know how like if you guys ever flew on a plane, they'd show, oh, we need to show you this for our safety presentation. They'll play a video, or a flight attendant will be up there presenting some of the gear, like seat belts, life jackets, and emergency exits. Communication skills, again, to signify the importance of communication skills. So let's get into the day in the life of an attendant. And right now, I have a video actually from CNBC Make It, which shows you basically what happens. So for now, I'm just going to be a little quiet so you guys can hear the video.
New York City-based flight attendant. My name is Melissa. I am your flight leader on today's flight.
I always tell people, I'm like, look, you drive to work, I fly. There's a system in which they build these trips and schedulers that build these trips, and then you're assigned that trip and you're working with that crew for the day.
We are completely full. We have 2 jump seaters. Captain.
Hey, how's it going,
I'm
Melissa?
Melissa.
Sit.
Sid, nice to meet you. Just coming in for a briefing. Before we depart, please direct your attention to your video monitors for a brief presentation of safety features.
I just go to Comfort Plus, and that shows me all my Comfort Plus passengers.
Shows you the wheelchair, as you can see,
Yeah.
some wheelchair passengers sitting right there. There's an infant baby.
We need to make sure all of our safety equipment is in place. We need to do all of our checks before we can even start boarding.
The plane looks good back there. All our pre-flight checks are good.
We have to be patient because although we're on flights all the time, there's people who don't know how to operate the overhead bins. There's people who don't know how to put their seatbelt on. We have to remember that on every single flight we're on.
This is real life. They're stressing us about closing the door. Bye. Have a good day, you guys. Appreciate it.
After a while, you fly so much, you kind of know, like we know what the single ding means. We know what the double ding means. It's just like any other job or career. You just learn and you know what those things are.
So here's our nemesis soda, Diet Coke. You will watch the fizz. See how much fizz there is? It takes forever to go down. This is what we would consider to be moderate turbulence. And this is how we ride on any repair
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Between hello and goodbye, literally, I think I said it.
Bye-bye, man. Thank you. Thanks for joining
Bye,
us.
thank you.
Make sure no one is in the laboratory.
Hiding out. Has that ever happened before? Find anyone?
We have technology in place that tells us what concourse to go to, what gate to go to next. It tells us how much time before we have to be there. It has all of those things. Happy birthday, dear Micah. Happy birthday to you. I love my passenger interaction. I love working.
So that should be enough to explain what goes in the work time and workplace of a flight attendant. I hope you enjoyed this part of the career A. So far, it's been going on for 11 minutes as of this recording, so I'm going to pass it on to where my other video is going to be video B, where it's going to talk about my next career. Stay tuned.